So what we just heard really is magic pixie dust defense. It is not reasonable. It is not supported by any evidence. And it is desperate. And it is a combination of a break with reality and mischaracterization of the evidence. And I can just give you a few examples. They did not report, the GBI did not report that someone else's DNA who used to work at the crime lab was in any of these items of evidence. That was not the testimony at all. The testimony is that they have a validation for true allele, and if any amount was a 4% contributor or falls below their threshold, those are not reliable results, which is how they compensate for the known error rate of true allele. The GBI will not report results below the known error rate of true allele. Every single result in this case that is before your honor is reliable, reproducible, and validated. That's why they reported it. If it were not those things, they would not have reported it. And then let me give you another example of the desperation. Well, the straw could be Diego's. No, it can't. It wasn't a YSTR result with the straw. It was a true allele result. And it was this defendant's DNA on the straw with a mixture of someone who the expert testified is not a male relative. He could not be on that straw. So what we have heard is truly a mix between mischaracterization of the evidence and the magic pixie dust defense. There is no reasonable explanation for all of this evidence other than he is guilty of every single count in this indictment. And the you should acquit him because Tejasvi only saw the rim of the hat. That completely ignores that there is a head on the hat. That is desperate. And she said herself, he peeped. I see him peeping in my window in the body cam video. He is guilty of that, which shows his state of mind. And her aggravated assault intent to rape truly is what I thought it would be, which is he killed her, but he didn't try to rape her. Her underwear is torn. And I know Your Honor is an experienced jurist. There are multiple cases out there in the state of Georgia that disheveled clothing alone is enough to support a conviction for aggravated assault with intent to rape. But we have more than that because we have his motive 73 minutes before, and we have the evidence of her clothes going in two separate directions. So those are, as my old trial partner used to say, just ink in the water. That's just to distract the court. The defendant, our evidence isn't based upon him having exclusive access to the phone. We never said that. She said that. What we have said is he had the phone that day, and there is no evidence to contradict that testimony. In order for you to find him not guilty, you would have to ignore all the evidence. They're saying, don't believe the DNA, it's not reliable. Don't believe the fingerprints, it's not reliable. And by the way, Tim Stewart covered in the true allele, in the Albert fingerprint hearing, that it is not unusual to not get an APHIS hit, but still do a hand-to-hand comparison and have a match. And his results, if you're at least a bit skeptical about them, and you shouldn't be based on his experience and his training and the methodology and the board that he created and how he explained how he got there, were blind peer-reviewed by another completely different examiner who came to the same conclusion. This is reliable evidence. This is reliable forensic evidence. And then they're like, oh, well, don't believe the digital evidence because you can't believe that either. There's no reason for you not to believe all the evidence in this case that's been put before you. And when you look at all of it together, it has only one reasonable explanation, is that he is guilty of everything in this indictment. And for the past week, Miss Jackson and I have been fighting for Laken Riley every day in this courtroom. We're done. Our work is done. And we turn this case over to you to make a decision on all of this evidence in this case. And we are asking you in your decision to render a verdict that speaks the truth about what happened that day, on the 22nd day of February, 2024, when this man took the life of an innocent woman, just going about her business, living her best life for no reason. It's senseless, and only you can end it. We're asking you to find him guilty of every single count in this indictment, to bring justice to Laken, her family, her friends, Tejaswi, and your entire community here in Athens. Thank you, Your Honor.